Thank you, J.D. Martin and Jan Garrett. Thank you, Sophia, David, Breezy, Jennifer, Ryan, John, and Ron. Did I leave anybody out? All right. We are living in the heart of God. Everything is perfect, wonderful, whole, and complete. So I'm on a bit of a success binge this summer. We're in the middle of our Summer Prosperity series, and the book that we're using is Fenwick Holmes' The 20 Secrets of Success, and we're talking about different ways to be successful. And that is just right up my alley, because one of the things that I love about this teaching is it doesn't say you must suffer. You must put up with everything. Oh, the patience of Job. I don't want to be like Job. I don't want to have those things happen to me. I don't want to create those experiences in my life. And I don't want to be in a mindset that says I'm getting some kind of brownie points at some later date for the bad things that I'm experiencing now. No, I don't want to do that. There's only here and now, and so I want to have all of my joy now. And one of the things I love about Ernest Holmes is that he says, anybody in their right mind wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be successful. So don't turn yourself against yourself. Go ahead and be successful. Wallace Wattles says that we have a right to be rich, that we can be rich, and that there is a science to being rich. And I love these teachers back 100 years ago that said it's okay to want a better life. For that matter, not wanting a better life is about constriction and closing down. Wanting a better life is about opening to the greater possibilities that are here for us now. Evolution is all about growth and change. We are not static, not as an earth, not as a species, not as life. Life is constantly evolving, constantly growing. And so we want to be in alignment with that, and we want to constantly grow and evolve. I love this idea that says we can create our experience. I love it because we don't have a teaching that says your success is outside of you, that your trappings in life say who you are. Gosh, I remember when I used to think that life was really hard. Boy, my car was me, my house was me, my marriage at the time was me, my career was me, that the outside determined the inside. No, 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 no. The inside always determines the outside. That which is going on within us is what opens the door to greater expansion and growth. And so we always go to this idea that says what is going on inside of me is what I need to focus on and look at, but not in such a way as to beat myself up for things that are not going according to my viewpoint, some idealized spiritual being. I'm not levitating yet. I'm not just like Sai Baba pouring vibhuti out of my hands, although this is what I really want. I want to go put my hand on someone, knock them flat, and say, heal. And I go around and I do that to people and they don't go down. But that doesn't determine who I am. Always what's going on. People are nodding. She did that to me. She was checking to see if I'd go down. All of those things on the outside are an afterthought. Listen to my words. They are an afterthought of what's going on within. So one of the things that I love is that no matter what's going on the outside, you can change it by having a current thought. That you're not stuck in your past no matter what it looked like. That's an afterthought. You have the thought, and then that manifests after the thought. What we want to have is a current thought. And if our current thought is not of the caliber that we want to live, then we need to have a second thought. So if we're thinking something, and maybe some good friend comes up to us and goes, you know, like Cher in Moonstruck, snap out of it, maybe a little more gentle. But some good friend comes to us and says, really? Is that really what you want to set in motion in your life? Do you really want that to manifest in your body, in your finances, in your career, in your relationship? Do you really want to focus on that energy and bring that into form? Is that what you want? Or maybe we have developed the awareness to be mindful enough to listen to what we think about and what we say, and we can say that to ourselves. That is the time to have a second thought. Sometimes people come into this teaching and they drag a lot of baggage in. They drag a lot of blame and shame and feeling like they're not good enough, like we don't call it original sin, but they say there's something inherently wrong with me. I'm not evolved enough. I haven't forgiven enough. I haven't taken enough classes yet. I'm not mature spiritually enough. There's something wrong with me. And then we create all kinds of stories about that to put ourselves down, justify why things are not going well in our lives, and use that as a way to feel small and to stay small. Don't do that. Have a second thought. Quantum physics has proven that there is only one thing going on. Doesn't matter what you call it, they call it a unified field. We call it spirit, the divine, God. There's only one thing going on. And if there is only one thing going on, now take a deep breath because this gets a little complicated. Breathe. If there's only one thing going on, then the oneness must exist in its totality at every point simultaneously. I'll say it again. In order for there to be a unity, that unity must exist in its totality at every point simultaneously. That means that all of God is at the point of you. Every bit of it. The power that makes the sun rise, keeps the world spinning, has gravity, the power that creates life is at the point of view. Everything that has been manifested, everything that has been created, every breakthrough, every demonstration, every healing is at the point of you. You're not a part of God. You're all of God. And so when you're looking at yourself, if you're dragged in any of those old belief systems that say, there's just something wrong with me, I did some bad things and I'm not sure that I'm clear enough and clean enough spiritually to really be able to demonstrate the life of my dreams, that's the same old garbage that says we shouldn't be successful, that we shouldn't have what we want, that we need to suffer on this planet in the hopes that sometime in the future we will demonstrate some kind of health and happiness and joy. All of God is manifest at the point of me now. Say that. All of God is manifest at the point of me now. Not tomorrow. Not after you get this or do that, have something on the outside to make yourself feel better about yourself. Not after your soulmate shows up or you get that new car or that new job. No, it must be here now or it will never be. For that matter, if all of God isn't manifest at the point of each and every one of us right now, time and space would fall apart. And we wouldn't be able to be here to have the conversation. It is our spiritual duty to prosper and grow. It is our spiritual duty to succeed, not only for our lives, but for the lives of people around us. Have you ever known anybody who just felt so bad about themselves that they create, like Pigpen, created chaos around themselves, created upset, always got so close, and then everything would fall apart? No, that was my first husband. True, wonderful man. But he couldn't quite break through, and truly we didn't have the support or the tools to do it. We're very lucky here in that we have support and have tools, but we would get so close. We would get so close, and then something would come out of the blue and it would all fall apart. And I realized that I needed to get away from that and find another way to look at life. So if you've known someone like that, not only do they drag themselves down, but they drag their families down. Not only do they drag their families down, but they drag their entire communities down. We don't want to feed that part of human nature. We want to feed the part of human nature that says you have a right to live the good life. You have a right to be blessed. You have a right to be healed. You have a right to have whatever it is you want to have just because you want it. Just because you want it, you have that right. And not only do you have that right to have it, but you can have it. There is a science to having it. It's called science of mind. The science of mental thinking, the science of creation, the science of setting spiritual law in motion, the science of being able to look beyond appearances and see possibility, to see truth, the science of being able to discipline ourselves enough that we can manifest our dreams. People have done it. And if anybody else did it, you can do it too. If anybody else has created it, boy, whoever created that $500 million lottery win in San Jose, I haven't seen who it was. The last one was a kid. Yay, good consciousness. If anybody has done it, you can do it. If anybody has risen out from a past that said, no, you're not good enough, no, you shouldn't, no, you can't, it's impossible. If anybody has risen above that, you can too, because there is no separation in a oneness. There is no separation in unity. All of God exists in me, and all of God exists in you, and it is the same God. We are points of spirit. We happen to be focused in time and space, and frankly, I'm not 100% sure what that lesson is about that we've chosen to incarnate on planet Earth. I think it's because we don't get to see color in other dimensions, or taste in other dimensions, or touch in other dimensions. And so we bought our spiritual ticket to manifest on planet Earth, where we could experience these wonderful dimensions of time and space, where we can go places and meet people and experience all of the beauty and the value of life. That's my personal point of view. What I know is that if we choose, we can demonstrate whatever we want. We can experience success at a level that we have never experienced it before, that is beyond our wildest dreams. I know that anything can heal. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a knee or a heart. I don't care if it's the past or a relationship. I know that anything can heal when we align ourselves in that healing presence and that understanding that everything is healed already, that we are perfect, whole, and complete right now. I know that we can pull ourselves out of poor beginnings. I like to call them humble beginnings. Many of us have come from humble beginnings, and that we can rise up out of that through the power of our thought, through the power of intention, and through diligent work. It's not a bad word, it is a four-letter word, but it's not a bad four-letter word. Diligent work on ourselves. So many people sit by and they watch these situations go by, and they don't have the courage or the strength to go after their dream. They've got too much stinking thinking about how I'm not worth it, and I shouldn't rock the boat, and it's never going to happen anyway. And so that's what they create. And then they say, life has passed me by. Life didn't pass anybody by. We passed life by. We said, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to go for it. It's going to be too much trouble to change and have everything I've ever wanted. I'm just going to sit here in the corner and bemoan my fate. No, don't be that person. You're a powerful, creative, spiritual being. All that God is you now. Say that. All that God is me now. You can do anything. You can have anything. You can be anything. You can go anywhere. However, we must first do it inside. And that's, what was it Wallace Waddle said? One of my favorite phrases was, that's where many metaphysicians meet shipwreck. Is at that point. Because we want to have an affirmation, we want to go up to a practitioner and get a spiritual mind treatment, and we want everything to change without us having to change. The only thing we have is us, and in that we have all that God is. So we have all of the power of creation, all of the manifestation that can happen, every healing, every demonstration, everything that has ever happened for anyone to rise up in their life and experience success, we have. But do we go there? Not often. We go, is it over here? Is it in this person? Is it in this multi-level marketing thing? Is it in this book? Is it in this teacher? Who can I bow down to and give my power away and hope that they give me what I want? We're only going to be shipwrecked. But when we look inside of ourselves and we say there is a presence and a power within me that is beyond anything, that is beyond everything. It is God itself in form as me. And when we look at those old beliefs in the face and say, I am not that person. I may have done some of those things, but that is in the past. I am not that person today, and I do not need to be punished for those actions of the past. When we can look at ourselves and say, I am greater than who I thought I was. I am greater than I know. And when I falter, there is that me that is greater within me that will actually lift us up. It's not a God outside of us that intervenes on our behalf. It is us. We're dealing with our conscious mind. There is so much more than that. It's like conscious mind, we look at our life like this. Who we are is like this. And so there is that within us that can lift us up to where we go, oh, I really screwed this up. You didn't screw it up. You are working out the details to have what you want. Oh, I really need to get rid of all of this junk that's in me. There is no junk in you. You are a being of light. You come from the light. You are the light. That's all that there is. It's not God and junk or me. No. You are perfect. You are whole. You are complete right here and right now. And when you get into that, you start manifesting that on the outside. You start demonstrating it in your life. And people go, oh, how'd you get that job? How'd you get funding for that project that you wanted? Oh my gosh, that person just walked into your life and everything was different. You must be so lucky. Luck my ass. Luck is opportunity and preparation meeting. It is time to prepare. It is time to prepare ourselves to have the life that we want to live the life of our dreams, to embrace it by first going inside and saying, what are these lies I've been holding? I loved the chakra meditation last week when we looked at, I think it was the crown chakra, and we breathed in all the great stuff, and then what we had to release were the lies. The lies that we had been told, the lies that we held inside of ourselves about who we were, who we are. If that says anything less than you are God's own, it's a lie. Anything less than you should have all that you possibly could want, it's a lie. But be prepared to not only treat, but move your feet. Because until you establish it inside of yourself, it's not going to demonstrate. You can't think positive thoughts 10% of the time. And for a lot of people, that's a lot. And to think negative thoughts 90% of the time, your positive thoughts are not going to destroy the 90%. You've got to focus on what you think about, look at what you believe, listen to what you say, and go for what you want. You have a right to have what you want. So many people are afraid to want. Because if they want, they think, oh, well, I'm a materialist, I'm not spiritual. Sweetie, it's all the same. God is all that there is. Materiality, spirituality, photon, particle, it's all the same thing. There's only one. So go ahead and want it. Go ahead and risk all of those disappointments of the past. They didn't kill you. They made you stronger. They helped you to get clear. Go after what you want. Stand tall about who you are. Be proud of the amazing, magnificent spiritual being that God is as you. And then go for it. What have you got to lose? Nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. I love this. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever lost. One of my favorite treatments. There's nothing lost in divine mind. If you ever lose a set of keys, I'm your girl. There's nothing lost in divine mind, and usually that's all it takes. Oh, found him. Because nothing is ever lost, and we are not lost. We were not created out of sin. We were not created to be separate. We are not meant to live in darkness and fear. We are not that. We are beings of light and love, powerful beyond our wildest dreams, and it is our right to be successful, not only for us, not only for our families, not only for our community, but for our world. We do not help anybody by being small. Marianne Williamson put that so well. You don't help anybody by playing small. Play big. It's only a game anyway. Play big. Choose freedom. Treatment for freedom. It's usually a question between freedom and security. I'm not saying that we should sell everything, but play big. Play big in the world. Put the law in motion. Test yourself, because really there's nothing other than that. Test yourself to go for what you want, to work on your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, your feelings, to bring yourself up to that level where you want to be that person and you want to live that life. That is our job. That is why we are here. We didn't come to shrink. We came to grow. We came to expand. We came to love. We came to be the light so that we could enlighten our world. If we get caught up in the darkness, we're just adding to the problem. Our job is to be the light. Be the light in our joy. Be the light in our creation. Let wonderful things happen to you. That's what I do. Wonderful things happen to me. All the time, wonderful things happen to me. We've got somebody here from Florida, Jackie, part of our online community. She came up to check us out. Yeah, check us out. Who are these people? Are they real? We are real. We are real, and we demonstrate this teaching week after week after week after week. Because that which is known in mind must demonstrate instantly. So if you're not having instant demonstrations of wonderfulness, what are you knowing in mind? All of your effort should be to get rid of it, to replace it with truth, with light, with love, with connection, with oneness, with success and prosperity and health and wholeness of all kinds. To replace that inside of us so that it can set spiritual law in motion and manifest in our world. That's what we're doing. There's a time delay. I've heard people say, boy, it's really great that we have a time delay because all of this negative thinking, stinking thinking would manifest right away. And I go, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great to get it just like that? You think of an elephant and then it's there. Oh, I'm going to change my thinking. I'm going to get a hold of myself. Wouldn't it be great to have it just like that? At some level it is. At some level, every time we think a thought, it is created. And then it takes as long as it takes in time and space to show up. Some say trained thought manifests faster. I don't know, I've seen some untrained thought manifest pretty fast. Every time we think a thought, it shows up. Think a different thought. It's called new thought. We're supposed to think one. Think a second thought. Think a thought of love. Think a thought of spirit. Think a thought of our own personal magnificence. We have a right to succeed. We have a right to prosper. We have a right to be healthy. We have a right to have miracles in our lives. Go to Shirley's workshop, wherever she is. Go to Shirley's workshop and get a mental equivalent of people who have healed, people who have transformed, things that have happened out of the blue. We have a right to that. We deserve to have it. And I believe that we have an obligation to have it. That as the light bearers on planet Earth, it is our job to hold the light high for those who are finding their way. And that means we've got to have it together. That means we've got to be clear in our faith and knowing our ability to manifest health, prosperity, love, joy, and success of all kinds. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And so it is.
Thank you, Barbara. That was brilliant. So I want to say hi to folks that are here for the first time. If this is your first time to Center for Spiritual Living, would you raise your hand? You're who Barbara was talking about, right? Jackie, welcome, Jackie. We're glad you're here. We have two ladies here, Barbara from St. Augustine, and who's with her? Joyce. Welcome, Joyce. And then we have this beautiful couple sitting up front here, who is Barbara. And what's that? You've been here before? Well, I haven't met you, so you're new to me. So that was fun. Anyone else in the room here for the first time? We're glad that you all found your way here today. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for sharing your time. I hope this has begun to be a wonderful experience for you. We have more to do, and we would like you to be our guests for refreshments afterwards.
What are the refreshments, John?
We're having bread pudding, chocolate and cinnamon raisin bread pudding day. As you can see, some people like my bread pudding. And there's fresh baked bread, as there often is, and fruit. So we will have a wonderful time together. So that being said, let's have our prosperity acceptors come forward. I'm going to grab these checks from Barbara and me and several other people who send them through the mail. And take your gift today, and please hold it in your hands, perhaps close to your heart, and know with me that there is that presence, that beautiful presence that Barbara spoke to us about, that is always here, always in the midst of everything that we do, that we think, that we say. It's in the midst of our giving, and it is in the midst of our money. So in this moment, as we give generously to this center, which is what we do, we receive the blessing of that flow, that dynamic flow of spirit that moves through us as much as it stays within us. And we use that to remember the truth of who we are. And we live our lives out loud in that wholeness and that beautiful expression of the divine. And knowing that's so, let's say these words together aloud. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.